Here's a question for you. So to become a good gardener, you need to have the natural talent, or sometimes people call, green fingers. True or false? Comment below. So if you were to ask me the same question, I think it is completely false, right? So it is definitely possible to train and hone yourself to become a better gardener. Why am I so sure? Right? Because I have trained thousands of beginners in my past 10 years of gardening coaching, right? Transforming them from really plant killers, plant murderers into plant masters. So you see, the main problem that most people, though they have been gardening for so many years, 10 years, 20 years, but they didn't really have great success with gardening, right? It's really because that they are not learning the right things, right? They are not focusing on the right things. So being out in the garden for many hours, or for hours every day, is not going to turn you into a better gardener. So myself, I am seldom out under the sun, right? That's why people say, sometimes I look too fair to be a gardener, right? So this is also why you see most of my videos, or if not all of my videos, are never done outdoors in the gardens. So practical experience is not the key to better gardening. So in fact, it has very little or even nothing to do with your success in gardening. So the real key is that, the knowledge of the gardening principles that will make the difference. You will become a better gardener if you understand the gardening principles. So if you know the principles well, you are already way ahead. You are already way ahead than most of the gardeners out there. Very, very few people ever figure out the principles through hands-on experience. So most of them that I know, they all figure out through learning the principles either from books that they read or from other mentors who, enlighten them in some way. So for myself, I learned a lot from my mentors, but there's a portion of it I also learned from the books. So when I truly understand the principles, I fully, master how the principles of gardening really works, immediately gardening becomes so much easier. Right, so what are the gardening principles that I am talking about? So it is very simple, very straightforward, and you hear this all the time, right? In my previous videos and even in my future videos, we will be talking about the same thing again. So gardening is all about recreating the perfect environment that allows your plants to grow to their full potential. So it's never about the plants, it's never about the techniques, right? It's all about how you manage the growing conditions, right? How you manage those growing conditions that enable your plants to experience less stress, and they will grow well under those growing conditions that you have created for them. And that's it, right? It is so simple and easy. That's the gardening principle that you need to learn and master. Right? So if you find this difficult to understand, right, or it doesn't really make sense, just think of plants as animals. Right? So what would you do if you want to keep a polar bear at home? Can you see that? You know that you need to modify your environment to meet the polar bear needs, right? So it's the same thing for plants, right? Give them the right growing conditions. If you understand them well, you know exactly what kind of conditions that they need to have, they will grow well for you. Right? In the case that where you cannot provide those conditions, then those plants are not suitable for you, so you avoid growing all these plants. So can you see how you have immediately become a lot more knowledgeable about plants? Right? So many of my students experience the same kind of transformation in my classes. Right? So after the class, right, or almost at the end of the class, they were like talking like gardening master. They are at the right frequency. They know exactly what to say, what to look out for, and that is really because they already learned the right things. They learn and they understand the gardening principles. Right? So if you want to become a better gardener, master the principles. Watch my other previous videos and do less real gardening, right? Read more books, right? Watch my videos, and you will become a better gardener. So if you learn something new, make sure you click on the subscribe button below. Right? Click on the button below. So enjoy your gardening, and I will see you soon.